That's right. Q is the most trusted. There's only 200 naval pilots at any given moment on the face of this planet that are Q capable. They are the most trusted. They can carry a nuclear weapon. No one else can. I heard that going off in my ear. Yeah, that's what happens when you talk about Q. Q is 6 military intelligence agencies led by the President of the United States of America. And a very, very special man that is helping, who currently serves as the Vice President of the United States of America. And it was kind of fun to be on that helicopter that dropped him off on Mount Rushmore so he could stand on George Washington's head. Yeah. You're welcome. What's that?
Who's the Vice President?
John F. Kennedy Jr. I got the privilege of being on Don Jr.'s helicopter with Gene Ho. Gene Ho is President Trump's photographer, and John Jr. on July the 2nd of last year, and we just flew him up on top of Mount Rushmore, dropped him off, and let him walk out there, and Gene took a picture. Wow. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's coming.
This is extraordinary on so many levels. The Deitch memo, and this memo, all of the documents that are not in the public domain, and the Deitch memo is one of those documents. It was a discovery document that was given to me by Mike Hugo, one of the original lawyers in vaccine injury litigation, who could not, they would settle before they got to a jury. And they had to do that because they could not have.
This is going to be interesting because this is a different turn of this number 6. This is a whole new subject, right?
Yeah. I figured, well, I had the dream. There must be something to it. So let's just bring it out.
And after you, I'm going to have you go ahead and share all of that. It's got some famous names. I'll let you say it. And then after you're done sharing that, I'm going to talk about on the air what I talk with you about off the air on this one.
Yep.
Okay, so go ahead and go for it.
Okay. All right. So this one is September 6th, 2023. I had this dream. In the dream, I saw a shift. And yeah, so in the dream, I saw a shift in the phase or the season of the plan. And I saw that. So when I say the plan, I'm speaking about the plan for America. And,
yeah.
And so I saw that we were entering a time of intentional and purposeful provocation from Trump and the White Hats in such a way that the deep state would seek to do anything they could to destroy Trump, which I think that's probably pretty obvious already. Yeah. But it was very vivid in the dream. And I knew that the deep state, you know, if they already didn't have murderous designs for him, they definitely were having them now. Like I knew they had murderous designs for him because of the deep state desperation. And I knew that the deep state was like, they were reaching their own precipice. It was like they're in their final moments of breathing. So, however, in the dream, I was aware that, like I just knew this by revelation. I was aware that Trump was insulated. He was being kept secure despite the appearance that he is in the vulnerable place of the public eye. And I also was aware of body doubles and masks and other protective measures that would ensure Trump's safety and protection. And so that was great encouragement to me as I was having this dream. So next in the dream, I was explaining to someone that many key leaders of whom we were told had died would soon be seen, and it would shock the world.
Many, not just one that you're going to name in a minute, but many.
Yes. Yes.
That's amazing.
So, you know, who they were, I can't say I know. So I've got thoughts, but I don't know. So I thought that, I said that they would soon be seen. It would shock the world. So at that point in the dream, I saw JFK Jr. walking among a crowd of patriots, but he was not recognized by them. But he knew me. For some reason, he knew me in the dream. He looked at me, and when I saw his eyes, I understood by revelation that he must still stay undercover until the right time, but there is a time coming.
And this is a literal thing. This is not a symbolic, a JFK-like person. This is, you believe God's telling you, showing you that JFK is still alive?
Well, I think he might be.
Okay, so let me just do this right now, because when I asked you off the air, as I said, okay, now tell me, Andrew, do you already know, or even before this dream, did you already know that the Patriot channels for at least 2 or 3 years have been suggesting that JFK Jr. is still alive? And I asked you, were you already aware of that before this dream? And you said,
I said yes, I was aware of it. I was aware that the Patriot channels and different things have had a thought that that he was alive.
So then my next question was, because that's what you said to me, then how confident can you be that this wasn't just your personal knowledge getting into your dream and that's what you saw? What would you say? I didn't maybe quite ask it that way, but what would you say to that?
Yeah, so the way that I look at a lot of my dreams is, you know, I look at, like, sometimes how spontaneous they come, or, like, you know, sometimes when revelation comes, it seems just so bizarre or spontaneous. Yeah. And I'm thinking, I haven't thought, you know, I had heard about JFK Jr. and what many people had thought about him still being alive. But honestly, I hadn't considered him in maybe a couple of years. I don't really even know if it's been a present.
So there had been nothing presently going on in your mind about that. So, okay, that helps because it adds credibility. You have a strong sense of the way your revelation comes that your knowledge did not interfere with this dream, that this dream was independent of its own for the best you could tell.
Yeah, you know, and here's something that I've just found is that I purposely try to avoid a lot of the chatter that goes on.
Yeah, right.
For me, because I just want to have things a bit more pure, in the sense of, I just want to, Lord, if you want to say something, you show me, you say it, and then maybe that'll confirm some things out there. But I try not to let my bias or whatever,
potential bias or So okay, well, go ahead and continue on. So I wanted to stop on the JFK part, and then go ahead and keep going on that.
But I want to say, Steve, I think that's a great question, because, you know, some of these things we need to weigh. The Bible says, hey, test everything, weigh it, hold on to that which is good. And my context for having this dream was that that night that I had the dream, before I went to bed, I was literally getting ready for bed, brushing my teeth, and I just had this thought, I wonder what's going on with the plan. What's happening right now in this nation? And so I literally asked the Lord before bed. I said, Lord, where are we in the phase of the plan for America? And so the last time he had spoke to me about the phase of the plan was in March. And so in March, he had told me that we, in a dream, he had said, we're going from the awake and conscious phase to the many difficult truths brought to the light phase.
Wow.
So,
and that was when you had this dream. This is like September 6th. Is that when he told you that phase?
No. So the first phase was that he gave me a dream about was in March of 2000.
Okay. All right.
And in March, he said, we're going from just the awake and conscious phase of the plan.
Okay.
All
right.
A lot of the plan has been to awake people, like, come on, wake up and get conscious to what's going on.
Yeah.
And then I knew we were in this process of going from that to now it's almost like people are being more prepared for many difficult truths to be brought into the light.
Yeah.
And
so true.
And,
right.
you know, and part of this dream that I had on September 6th, I feel like God's saying, hey, because of what is coming and because of who Trump is and what he is intending to do to destroy the deep state, they are going to launch whatever they can to stop it. It's going to be intense. And for some reason, I believe God's saying, hey, there are a lot of people in high level positions that many think are dead or gone, but they are actually part of this plan that's going to help expose some things that need to be exposed.
Very good. Very good.
The other thought I had, Steve, and I just thought this is important, is that without going into a ton of detail on it, but Maui, this is what I felt the Lord said, Maui should just be a warning for all of us as intercessors that the battlefield is still very active. And speaking of frequency and ill noise, I just think the enemy is looking to release whatever he can, frequencies, anything he can to disrupt, to destroy. And that's where I think we need to be active in intercession, releasing a greater sound, roaring the covenant, breaking.
Really good. And by the way, I think what it will do is Julie's written me a note. We'll skip number 7 because they threw that in case we needed more time.
Yeah.
But so finish this one off, and that'll be our time today. But I want to hear the rest of this now.
Okay, so
after the JFK, then it continues.
Okay. Oh yeah. Wait, where did I? No, that was the end of the dream there.
Oh, it is?
Yep. So that was the end of the dream.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I was just looking back. Yep. So basically, I just knew there was a time coming where those that, specifically JFK Jr., walking in this crowd of patriots, he needed to stay undercover until the right time. But I knew there's a time coming.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah. You're not saying this, but Patriot channels have been surmising that maybe he's going to be the vice presidential running mate with Trump and all those kind of things. And they get crazy. You know, people get talking, well, this, I think he's going to be that. You're not saying any of that. You're just saying you had this dream and he needs to be undercover for a while longer, assuming it's literal, but you're saying he needs to be undercover for a while.
Yeah. And I'll finish it with this, Steve, that in terms of where it concerns Trump and a lot of these dreams, when I get a dream and Trump's in it, it's usually so like something that has never entered my mind generally. Or it's not a present thought. It's something that I feel like the Lord really kind of hones in on because of the urgent need of prayer and intercession for it.
Yeah.
And I also feel encouraged by God answering my prayer that night to say, here's where we're at. We're in this phase where the white hats and Trump, they're going to begin provoking on purpose. There's an increasing provoking coming. Why? Because I think that the weapons of the deep state need to be exposed. Everything needs to get, they need to see where the enemy still has weapons.
So you're saying that Trump and the White Hats are poking the bear, and they're doing it on purpose, even though it's dangerous and scary.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So, and I think we're seeing some of the reaction. We're seeing it play out before us, but the encouragement in the dream was that Trump was insulated, that he's protected.
Yeah.
And so that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's very, very good. So